Well, we all knew it was going to be bad, but did we expect it to be that bad as we get blown out 48-7? Before I get going on what just happened with the Eagles and the Saints, I just want to let you know, in the preview video that I did on Friday about this game, I said, I don't see how we're going to win. I base it off of facts, I base it off of statistics, and everything I've seen so far throughout this Eagles season. And I have gotten some backlash and got destroyed, and people were saying the most ridiculous, absurd things to me in the negative way because I wasn't a real Eagles fan, because I didn't believe in this team. There's a difference between believing in the team and being a realist. So I'm opening up the comment section below. If you're a man, come back at me, apologize, say whatever you want. You don't have to, but I'm leaving it open for you because you guys said some ruthless things to me because on how I felt based off of truth, stats, and facts on this football team. Let's dissect this one. 48-7. We dropped to 4-6. It was the worst loss from a reigning Super Bowl champion. The team gave us no effort. Don't get me wrong. I knew looking at this defensively that we were going to get torched. And we had Bob Smith, Joe Johnson. We had guys off the streets at one point due to injury. I mean, Avonte Maddox, Sidney Jones, Rasul Douglas. They all go down. Jordan Hicks goes down. Jason Kelsey goes down. I knew we were going to get torched defensively. But still, I mean, come on, man. There was no heart, no fight, no nothing. They were just out there. They were just out there playing football. And you can see that. To end it, 546 total yards allowed. 321 at half. I'll get to the offense. Don't get me wrong. I will get to the offense. But this defense was atrocious. And I get it. Listen, I understand what was out there on the backside and having to try and stop Drew Brees and all that. But it was just a mess. I mean, looking at their statistic leaders, Drew Brees with 363 yards, 4 touchdowns. Ingram with 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kamara with 109 from scrimmage with a touchdown. Tre'Quan Smith, 157 yards and a touchdown. Michael Thomas, 92 yards and a touchdown. This team just didn't play. They were just going through the motions. But the real issue here is offensively. Carson Wentz, horrendous game. Horrendous. Just a brutal, absolutely insanely brutal football game. He threw three interceptions. Yeah, I wish 3 touchdowns. 3 interceptions. This team only put 7 points up on the board. We start the game out going 3 and out. Then we get the ball back after we hold them to a field goal, 3 and out. Then they're up 10-0. It's just a joke, and this team might grow. Doug Peterson, it's a laughing joke that we can't get anything going offensively. Nothing. This team looks so pathetic. Just pathetic. No creativity at all. I don't get it. There was a 3rd and 3, and this is props to Adrian for pointing this out to me. 3rd and 3, and we knew this line was collapsing big time. We weren't creating a lot of time and space for Carson Wentz. So in this 3rd and 3 situation on their side of the 50, Doug Peterson goes to a play action that is slow developing for Zach Ertz. Why are we going for a play action pass that is developed slowly when we know our line is not holding up for Carson Wentz? You need to adapt. You need to adapt. This is just horrible. This team looks so bad, and I honestly believe that this is a loss that will just continue the snowball effect and just destroy the season for us. It's to that nature. And you look in the division, you have Alex Smith going down, which is horrible. Never want to see that. It was just one of those gruesome leg injuries. And the Dallas Cowboys win, and now they're 5-5. This looks like the Cowboys division. A loss like this, a blowout of this nature is just going to snowball down, and down. The worst part about it is the effort level. That is the worst part about it. Okay, when Cameron Johnston is the best tackler of the night and leading your special teams down the field, that shows me that this team just didn't care. I get that people are going to be frustrated. I saw Carson Wentz screaming, throwing his fist in the air when he was pissed off after a horrendous throw of an interception. I saw Malcolm Jenkins, after getting cooked by Kamara, throwing his helmet. I saw Alshon Jeffrey tossing his helmet. Those are our leaders. Those are our legitimate leaders. And that pisses me off to see the body language of them. It's a lot different when you see Tom Brady do it on the sidelines when they're down 1 touchdown and then they go out there and make it happen. But these guys were just getting their ass absolutely kicked and handed to them, and they're pissed off about it. Well, why don't you prepare a little better? Why don't you play a little better? I mean, Carson Wentz, that was the worst game of his career. Worst game. I love him. I love him to death. He's still our guy. I'm not going, we need Nick Foles, because there are people out there too. I'm not doing that. But to be all pissed off on the bench, but not go out and perform, okay, that irritates me. Now, Malcolm, I mean, he was making tackles. He had so little to work with back there with DBs. But, you know, I just don't like our leaders with that type of body language and frustration. That's how I see this going. I see it going poorly because of things like that. Our team has just lost it. They've lost it mentally. It's not easy. They were not ready to prepare to be the defending champions. They just got embarrassed. I knew it was coming. I mean, I knew it was coming. But to sit through it just made it so painful. Just so painful. So who do we look at? We look at offensively, what is the problem? I don't want to hear our injuries are the issues, right? Because it's not. It's not. Offensively, we need to be producing more than we are. We finished with 138 yards throwing and 58 yards rushing on the day. Speaking of rushing, Josh Adams. Congrats on the touchdown. It looks like we found someone who can run the ball a little bit, but we have so many other holes to fix. What's that mean to me? This was just bad. This was just bad. I mean, it's crazy because I knew it was coming. Right? And I kind of just said it, but now that I'm sitting through it, experiencing it. But this is good. I actually think in some way, shape, or form, this is good. They needed an ass kicking like this. Not to salvage the season. I'm not a believer in salvaging this season at the moment. Not the way I've seen them play throughout these weeks. But just to show them, like, you don't come to play, you deserve that. You deserve it when you don't come to play, when you're not prepared, when your coaching staff isn't doing their job. You deserve it. I'm curious to see what Doug Peterson has to say. I'd lean more on the offense than the defense on this one. Don't get me wrong, that defense was atrocious. But I knew they were going to get lit up. They have to do a better job, without a doubt. But they're rocking with fourth stringers we picked up off the street. I mean, what can you possibly do? But offensively, that was a mess. No one's on the same page. The route running's poor. The play calling's atrocious. Carson Wentz was bad. I mean, it's just one of those seasons without a doubt, but it's just disappointing and upsetting. This team has lost it. They've lost their underdog mentality. I forget who it was. It might have been Corey Clement. I do forget who it was before the game, but they got interviewed walking into the stadium, and they were excited to be the underdog again. They were pumped to be the underdog again so they can show everyone wrong. They didn't have a lick of a chance from the kickoff. The 3-and-out to begin this game, I mean, come on, how many times are we going to consistently start with 3-and-outs? 6 out of 10 to be exact. We were one of the best teams in scoring in the first quarter last year. Now we're literally at the bottom of the bottom. And who does that fall on? Mike Groh, Doug Peterson, them as a unit. I need them to start figuring it out. It needs to be changed. Nothing has been changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over again. That's why I think this ass kicking might be good. Maybe this coaching staff will look at it and possibly change something. But at the end of the day, I keep thinking, who cares? Because this team doesn't have it. This team doesn't have it. Don't lie to yourself. Don't be that Eagles fan that just keeps on thinking. Like, you can be a fan and hope and wish, but use your brain. Use logic. Use what we have seen so far throughout this season to put ourselves at 4-6. There is no jump. There is no offense. Our defense can't stop anything. Our defense is brutally injured at this point as well. What have you seen that shows you that this team's going to be able to do something? It was just a mess. It was just a mess. So keep in mind, My comment section is open for everyone who bashed me for saying there was no way we would win this game. That's right. There was so much brutal comments to me on a whole nother level of disgusting and disturbing. Bring on the apologies. Because I based it off of factual information. I'm a diehard Eagles fan. I don't want it to be this way. But I dissect games. I look at plays. I look at our coaching staff. I look at the way we play. And that's how I base my opinion. And this was just atrocious. This was just atrocious. Let me know what you think down below. I'm disgusted.